Hello guys, today we're going to be doing What If Deku Had Sunshine. So, we start off when Deku's a baby. Inko had Deku at nighttime. So basically the next day, everything, seems to be normal. But then, once the sun hits Deku, or Baby Zuko, he instantly grows in size, making him look like a 2, which shocks everybody that witnesses it. And after that, they start studying Deku. They said maybe he's a super early bloomer because it could be his quirk, and they just sum it up to that because they can't really figure it out until he's 5 years old. So yeah, when Deku's 3 years old, he's super prideful, and he thinks he's the strongest. So obviously, he's not strong to the point. Well, he's not Bakugo, where Bakugo thinks he's the strongest, but he really isn't. He's strong, but not the strongest. Anyway, he actually has the strength to back it up. So when Deku's 3, he goes into daycare, and everybody sees him, and he looks like a 5 or 6 year old kid, and they're like, "What the heck?" And everybody tries to become friends with him because they think his quirk unlocked already, since they see his insane strength. And Inko has been telling him, and everybody basically has been telling him, you can't use your quirk on other people, since he's been taught that since he was a baby, since he had his quirk since he was a baby. Well, not really a quirk, but had sunshine since he was a baby. And yeah, a few years later, Deku's 5 years old, and Deku gets to school and he sees Bakugo using his quirk, and Bakugo is like, "Oh yeah, I'm better than you now, Deku. I can easily beat you." And then Deku looks at him and then just says, "Bring it on." And Bakugo immediately throws an explosion at Deku. Deku doesn't even move; he just takes it, which explosion did absolutely nothing. It was horrible. Nothing happened. Like nothing. The teachers were distracted, so they didn't stop it. And Bakugo's like shocked, like what? How? And then Deku's like, "All right, my turn," and then punches Bakugo in the stomach, making him cough out blood. Bakugo starts crying, and the teachers are like, "What's wrong?" And and Bakugo says that Deku hit him, and then Deku says that he started it. The teacher asks all the other people that were watching, and they all say that Bakugo started the fight, and Bakugo gets sent to the principal's office. Both of them actually, but Deku doesn't get suspended, but it's suspended, but Bakugo does. So everybody pretty much stays away from Deku, and not they fear him. They don't want to fight him. So yeah, a few years later, Deku is 13 years old, and every time the sun comes up, he looks like All Might, actually, not with the hair though, but just looks like All Might physically. And Inko gotten used to the fact that every time Deku would go into the sun, he would just get powered up. Oh, I forgot to mention the quirk doctor. Once Deku goes to the quirk doctor when he's 5 years old, they test him, and it says that he has no quirk, but they obviously think that he has a quirk, so they just say maybe he's a special case, and everybody else agrees. So they just called Deku a special case. They still have Sunshine as a corp. They named it Sunshine, and yeah, basically that happened. So anyway, Deku is 13 years old, and he's sitting in class, and it's the end of the day in the end of the school year. The teacher says, I'm sorry. The teacher says, we're gonna talk about what you guys want to do after high school, and then the teacher just throws up the papers and says, I'm just kidding. I know you all want to be heroes, and everybody starts showing off their quirks besides Deku and Bakugo. Not Deku. The teacher then says, well, there's two people that want to go to UA. Bakugo, which everybody's like, yeah, he probably is gonna go, knowing him. And then Deku. Everybody gets a little scared hearing his name. They all look at Deku, and Deku's just not even paying attention in class. He's just looking outside the window. And Bakugo immediately gets up and gets angry at Deku for trying to go to UA. He immediately starts talking a whole bunch of smack to Deku. And Deku turns his head and looks at him. And gets up and walks away, completely ignoring Baku. Because over the years, he's gotten used to this. Every time he retaliated to Bakugo's comments, he would get in trouble. So he just got used to ignoring it. So once he got outside, he started walking home, and the sludge villain comes. Oh, and his Escanor's axe, I'll just have that as it can come out of his body, just because there's no way they're just gonna let him have an axe in school. So yeah. So the sludge villain just immediately jumps at Deku. Deku has the axe come out of his hand and slices the sludge villain in half. The sludge villain tries to creep the cut side of the sludge villain tries to creep up on Deku, but it doesn't work. Deku thinks, okay, since you won't die by cut, I'll burn you. But then before he can start using his flame abilities, All Might appears. And he's like, I am here, and punches the sludge villain, knocking the sludge villain out, sorry. And All Might's like, oh, hello. You held the sludge villain off well. What's your name? And Deku basically tells him his name is Izuku Midoriya, and All Might says, what's your quirk? And Deku says sunshine, and All Might is interested in this, and seeing a person this tall and not a hero, like, and with that type of strength, because he's seen that axe come out of his hand just a little bit, because yeah. And so All Might says why our axes, why aren't you a hero? And Deku basically tells him that he's not old enough. He's gonna sign up for UA though. And All Might's shocked, and then All Might asks how old is he? And Deku says he's 13 years old. All Might is shocked. Like, what? How? Definitely, or All Might automatically thinks that it has to be the fact that his quirk is doing this to him, because there's no other way. That's not humanly possible to be that big at that age. So Deku just, Deku is not fanboying because he's in his son's. Oh my god, he's in that super prideful part, and so he's not gonna be fanboying. But normal Deku, yeah, he would definitely be fanboying. But yeah. So, All Might signs Deku's autograph because, yeah, he did it before. So, Deku just handed him his notebook and All Might signed it. And yeah, that's pretty much how that went down. All Might put the sludge in a bottle, 2 bottles, and jumps off. And he ends up dropping them on the way, not noticing. Deku starts walking home, and then he hears explosions. He just starts walking over there, and he sees Bakugo in there, and he sees none of the heroes doing it, and his inner Deku is like, I gotta go help Bakugo, and he starts running, and not like super fast running. He's just running more like a jog, and all the heroes see him, and they're like, "Oh, another pro hero to help us out. Hopefully, his quirk can deal with this." And then Deku immediately jumps towards the sledge villain, and you know, everybody thinks it's a new pro hero because of his size. But then they all see his outfit, and then they're like, he's a teenager. Then Deku slices the sledge villain again, and then he's like, alright, I'm gonna try what All Might did, and punches the sledge villain, grabs Bakugo, pulls him out, and punches the sledge villain, basically. And the sledge villain, the sledge villain is got blown away. He didn't make the wind change, but he's insanely strong, so he makes, basically. And yeah, Deku ends up jumping away, or everybody's like, the pro heroes end up scolding him and asking what his quirk is, and basically everybody's trying to ask him a whole bunch of questions. Deku just immediately starts running because he does not have time for this. He said he would if he didn't have to train for UA. He really doesn't want to train, but his inner self is like, train, train, train. So Deku is about to turn the corner to right where his house is, and then All Might's in front of him. All Might offers him one for all, and he turns it down immediately. Deku says that he doesn't need his quirk. Maybe you should give it to someone else. But then All Might's like, at least let me train you. And Deku's like, fine, whatever. So All Might ends up seeing the downside of Deku's quirk. The fact that if it's not daytime, that's the only time he's ever useful. Or not useful, sorry. If it's not daytime, he's not useful at all. He's not gonna help, basically. So he trains Deku at night, so his body will become more built. So he doesn't so he's not super weak when it comes to the night. And that's when the real Deku fanboy comes out. But yeah, they trained for 10 months straight on my spars with the sun, with day version of Deku. And this is how the battle goes. Basically, once they begin, Deku and All Might run at each other and clash. They jump back, and All Might tries to speed blitz Deku, and then All Might throws a punch, which Deku catches, and then All Might tries to throw another punch. Deku catches that, and then flips backward, kicking All Might in the mouth. And then Deku basically throws a mini fireball at All Might, and All Might dodges it pretty easily, but after dodging like 2 or 3 of them, he sees Deku running at him, and he doesn't have enough time to move out the way, so he basically gets picked up and slammed on the ground, which then All Might punches Deku, having Deku fly back a bit. Once Deku gets up, or not gets up, once he gets from where he was at and starts running back at All Might starts immediately running at him, and they end up clashing again. But this time, Deku puts both of Deku's hands start having flames on them. They start to burn All Might's hands. All Might tries to move his hands, but he sees Deku got him gripped hard. So he basically lifts his hands up in the air and tries to slam him down just by moving his hands up. It took a lot of strength to do this, obviously, since Deku's huge, his size, and probably weighs a bit more than him. He picks him up with his hands and then slams him, and this makes Deku let go, and then All Might immediately punches Deku in the stomach, and Deku gets up after the punch, gets up as quick as possible, because he gets up, but in the middle of him getting up, he kicks All Might, sending All Might sliding backwards, giving him enough time to get up fully. And All Might runs at him, and Deku shoots a fireball. All Might easily dodges all of these while running at him, and they end up just doing a whole bunch of barrage of punches, and then All Might swings, Deku ducks, and uppercuts All Might. And All Might, he's pretty badly injured by this, but he keeps going. And All Might swings again at Deku. Deku dodges and tries to go for another uppercut, but All Might grabs the punch and punches Deku straight in the face. And then Deku takes the punch and uses his other arm to punch All Might in the stomach, which All Might coughs out blood, and then All Might punches Deku in his stomach, making Deku cough out blood. And then Deku kicks All Might's leg, and then uses his axe and puts it to his throat, but not trying to kill him, but puts it to his throat, and then says, "I win," and puts his axe back into his hand. I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. Peace out, everybody, and goodbye.